Good afternoon from a really hot workshop down on the south coast. I think it's in the 30s. The temperature at the moment, hottest day of the year anyway for us. It's unusually warm, let's say that much. I thought I'd look at a question I get asked quite regularly, and it's a question I see in a lot of forums, Facebook pages and groups and so on, asked by people all over. And to be honest, I'd probably ask the same question as well. When you're starting out in armouring, there's a bewildering array of, start that again shall I? There's a bewildering array of metals and steels. You kind of imagine steel is steel, and then you discover there's carbon and low carbon. Then you discover there's variations in between all of that. Then there's stainless and all sorts of stuff. And it can get very confusing very quickly. So I guess that's why the question's asked, certainly why I asked the question back in the day. So I've had the fortunate experience to have worked with, say, mild steel, so low carbon steels, high carbon steels such as C45, what else, raw iron. I was given some very old raw iron by a customer to make some bits and pieces out of. That was an interesting experience. Stainless steel. I've worked with bronze, brass, aluminium, copper, all those sorts of things as well. But only really when jobs have required it. I haven't gone to seek that education, it's just as a job has turned up. Because they kind of follow reasonable rules, and you can read up on these things. And I'd say that's the first thing. When you're considering what materials to use at all, read some books, read some forums, take a look, because a lot of the time people have done a tremendous amount of work, and this work has already been done. So don't feel adrift, just have a quick look. But in simple terms, the material I would suggest that you always learn your armouring on would be mild steel. Low carbon steel, but I don't think it's ever called that really. I think that's just something I say to be pedantic from time to time. But yeah, just the mild steel. The reason I suggest it all through my videos. Use mild steel because it's very forgiving. You can overheat it, underheat it, not heat it, and it will work with you. It's difficult to crack and snap, whereas a higher carbon steel can be quite unforgiving for all the reasons that there's carbon in it and so on. In fact, I'll try and do a video on molecular structures of metal and why they harden and all this sort of stuff. But mild steel, for my money, is the place to begin. Even if you're planning on wearing your armour in HMB style situations, you're going to go out and people are going to try and club you to death with blunted weapons, or you do an SCA and they're coming at you with various rattan sticks and baseball bats and all sorts of stuff. Just start with mild steel and just don't wear that stuff on the field, first of all, for two reasons. One, because if it's made from mild steel and you've got that on your arm and somebody hits you with a proper weapon who's fully trained, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. But secondly, and this isn't meant unkindly, to anybody who's starting out, your work just isn't going to be that good unless you're working with somebody and they're teaching and showing you. If you're literally striking out on your own with a hammer, a blow lamp and a rock, you're unlikely to make the wonderful pieces of armour that you think you will to begin with. You'll give it your honest best efforts, I'm sure. But I would say make a few things first out of mild steel. Get your eye in on the shapes, how to do things economically, as in not so much financial economics, but economically to your body. Sometimes you can work on something for hours and hours and hours, and then somebody who's experienced can show you how to do it, and suddenly it goes to sort of 20-30 minutes. My van braces, when I first did that, the first van braces I made took me almost a day and a half. I was shown how to make them properly by David Hewitt at White Rose Armories, and suddenly I could rough out, not make completely, but rough out van braces in 20-30 minutes after I'd spent that time with Dave, and then spent weeks and years learning how to hone that to my particular way of working. So I would suggest mild steel is the place to go. It's cheap, it's easy to use, you can work it cold if you really have to. It's exceptionally difficult to overwork. In fact, all the years I've been doing teaching now at Westdean College, and I've had people coming here as well to the workshop, I've only ever seen one person manage to overwork some mild steel, and it was quite the event. I've never seen anything quite like it in my life, but you know, we managed to relax it back and do bits and pieces, and they were able to continue with their work. That's again another separate story. So start with mild steel. Your body will thank you, your pocket will thank you, your skill will thank you if you're serious about the art of armouring. In 5 years, 6, 7 years time, you'll be so glad you started with mild steel, because you made all your mistakes in an easy to use material. And to be honest, if you're just doing reenactment or you're not planning on getting hit that much, mild steel's fine, even light hits and so on. So it's a reasonable place to begin. So there you go. I'm going to try my best not to carry on waffling, because I know what I'm like. So if you're looking for a material to start to doing your armouring on, get hold of some mild steel. You will be so grateful later. Even just cutting it is so much easier than cutting carbon steels. Certainly stainless steels and so on. Just get your iron, get your trading, get your crafting, get your timing on some mild steel, and your future self will thank you no end.